My sister blamed me for her divorce, therefore my family left me. 3 years later, she seeks for help at McDonald's. But then I learned this awful reality. I'm 28 and my 34F older sister Marie has always been the golden kid. Our parents spoiled her while neglecting me. Keeping my head down and out of trouble were my childhood lessons. Any attempt to defend myself would be punished or mocked. Marie married Lucas, 36, at 25. Glad for her, thinking marriage would help her mature and become more responsible. However, I soon realized otherwise. Marie kept partying late and coming home inebriated. I heard her and Lucas arguing over her behavior. But our parents always defended Marie, saying Lucas was overly domineering. After 2 years of marriage, I noticed Marie might be cheating on Lucas. She would get strange late-night calls, hide her phone while people were there, and invent excuses to leave the house. It was hard to accept, but the evidence grew. I texted Marie about meeting at a hotel, and I accidentally saw it. I debated how to use this information. I believed Lucas deserved the truth. I knew speaking up would hurt me. I remained silent, thinking the situation would settle itself. Marie introduced us to her friend Liam, 32M, who started visiting our house frequently. I noticed how he and Marie looked at one another. There was more to their relationship than friendship. The tipping point was a family cookout. My 27F girlfriend Abigail was there. And Liam immediately disliked her. He made rude remarks about her beauty and background all night. After Abigail excused herself to use the restroom, I heard Liam tell Marie that she was out of my league and that I should stick to my own. I was outraged but kept my cool for Abigail. Liam spilled his drink over Abigail's dress, escalating things. Liam chuckled and made a crass joke about her entering a wet t-shirt contest as she stood horrified and on the point of tears. The final straw. Liam should apologize to Abigail and leave, I told him. Marie defended Liam, calling me sensitive, and said it was a joke. Marie played victim again with our parents when I refused to back down. To my dismay, they agreed with her and told me to apologize to Liam for wrecking the celebration. Something snapped inside me then. Years of hatred and frustration erupted. I showed everyone Marie's texts on her phone to reveal her affair with Liam. After seeing them, a friend texted me hotel photos of them. Chaos followed. Lucas was heartbroken. Marie screamed at me, shocking our parents. Lucas filed for divorce days later. Instead of accepting responsibility, Marie blamed me for wrecking her marriage. She told our parents in tears that I had always been jealous of her and lied to ruin her happiness. I was surprised when our parents believed her. I was accused of betraying the family and making trouble. I tried to explain myself by citing Marie's infidelity, but they ignored me. My father insisted I apologize to Marie and confess my lies before I could stay in their house. I was shocked. After years of Marie's selfishness and our parents' favoritism, I was punished for standing up for myself and my partner. Abigail supported me as I packed and departed that night. The following months were hard. I had to find a new home and sustain myself without family help. Abigail was my rock, helping me find a job and an apartment. This struggle brought us closer, and I realized she was my family. 3 years have passed since then. I've started over in another state. Abigail and I married last year, and I like my job. My family is happy, and I've let go of my resentment and anguish. I thought I was done with that chapter until yesterday. A familiar face appeared at a McDonald's drive-through window as I was eating lunch. It was Marie. Her appearance changed, tired and elderly. She glanced at me with big eyes and looked away, embarrassed. I was surprised she worked there, especially in another state. My head was full with questions as I drove away with my order. What happened to her? Why did she work at McDonald's? Our parents where? I chose to return during her break after some internal conflict. She was alone outside eating a salad. She glanced up with embarrassment and disdain when I approached. What do you want? She questioned, losing confidence. I sat across from Marie and said, what happened? Why are you here? She hesitated before revealing the narrative. Something went wrong for her following the divorce. Our parents expelled her because they couldn't sustain her lifestyle. Liam told her about a job after she moved in. He was fleeing debt collectors. While Liam was unemployed, she had to work this job to survive. Marie looked at me with tears after finishing her narrative. She admitted her mistake. I've made numerous blunders, but I'm battling. Can you help me? Some money to get back on my feet? Sitting, I was conflicted. Part of me wanted to aid her. She was still my sister. She caused me and Abigail anguish, but another part remembered. I departed after saying I'd think. I'm home contemplating what happened. My visit to Marie is still a secret to Abigail. Not sure what to do. Should I aid Marie? Should I call our parents for their perspective? Should I put the past behind and move on? Could use some Reddit advice. What would you do in my situation? Update. Since meeting Marie at McDonald's 2 weeks ago, a lot has transpired. I appreciate everyone's advice and support on my first post. Your remarks got me thinking and helped me through this tough circumstance. After great consideration, I decided to research Marie before aiding her. I contacted old family acquaintances and distant relatives to find out what occurred after I departed. Quite startling, what I found. Marie's sob story about our parents throwing her out was false. Marie lived with our parents after I departed, according to my sources. She brought Liam to live with them, saying they were friends and she needed help following her divorce. Things were fine for a few months. Our parents believed Marie's story and supported her. They paid for her therapy and helped her find a job. I then discovered she never attended. Marie began urging our parents to give the house to her 8 months after I departed. She said it was for security and would look after them. After some hesitation, our parents, always eager to please Marie, gave in. What occurred next was vile. Marie and Liam sold the house without notice once it was hers. The money vanished, leaving our parents impoverished and homeless. I was startled to learn that my late 60s parents were living in a cramped room in an outdated hospice facility. They barely made ends meet on my father's pension, which barely covered their medical bills. This realization hit me hard. I spent days contemplating this knowledge, feeling angry at Marie's treachery, guilty for not being there for my parents, and unsure what to do. I confronted Marie with my findings. Back at McDonald's during her break, I lay out what I knew. The look on her face confirmed it. Marie cried, making pleas and pleading for forgiveness. She said she never wanted this to happen, that Liam deceived her, and that she was suffering from his abuse. Although I felt sorry for her, I couldn't forget what she did. I couldn't help her financially, but I could recommend local women's shelters and abuse support groups if she was serious about leaving Liam. She wasn't pleased. Marie yelled at me for being selfish and unforgiving. She claimed I was constantly jealous of her and enjoyed seeing her struggle. I saw she hadn't altered. She remained deceptive and hurtful to our family. I left her. With a strange mix of regret and relief, I saw Marie for who she was and knew I had made the correct decision by not supporting her financially. I have a new problem. Should I contact my parents? Part of me wants to help them because they're elderly and struggling. However, I can't forget how they treated me and always picked Marie over me, even when I was honest. Abigail has been really supportive when I've told her. She supported my choice but gently reminded me that I don't owe my parents anything after how they treated me. I'm split. I feel obligated to aid them. Despite everything, my parents are mine. However, I fear opening old wounds and attracting more drama. I'm thinking about paying them money through a lawyer anonymously. That may not be the appropriate move either. I need more Reddit advice. What would you tell my parents? Should I contact them personally, anonymously, or stay away? Update. After a month, I wanted to update you on this family drama. After much soul-searching and long conversations with Abigail, I contacted my parents. It was a tough choice with many doubts. However, I needed their side of the tale. Since they were no longer at the hospice facility I learned about, I hired a private detective to find them. It happened. Their new flat was modest and decrepit in a bad neighborhood. I wrote them a note saying I knew about their circumstances and would discuss if they were interested. I included my phone number, but not my address to avoid manipulation. My father called 2 days after I wrote the letter, surprising me. His voice was older and weaker than I remembered. I agreed to meet him in person after some thought. A modest bistro midway between our homes was our meeting spot. When I saw my parents, I was amazed at their age. My mother was weak and fatigued, and my father was stooped and doubtful. The conversation started awkwardly. We had so much underlying hurt and bitterness. We discussed what happened after I left, and the complete narrative emerged. They admitted they were wrong to always support Marie. They said she manipulated them, exploiting their emotions and want to stay together. They admitted that they knew I was telling the truth about her affair but couldn't accept it. The painful wake-up call came when Marie sold the house and fled with the money. She was greedy and deceptive, which they discovered too late. They said they tried to press charges, but without proof that they hadn't willingly handed her the house, they couldn't. I saw genuine remorse in their eyes as they talked. It was unfair and harmful to favor Marie, so they apologized for how they treated me. My mother cried as she informed me they were pleased of my life despite their lack of support. Listening to their apology and pride in me made me emotional. Part of me wanted to forgive and reintegrate them immediately. But another part remembered years of rejection and hurt. I appreciated their apology but said our relationship will take time to repair. I told her I had a family with Abigail and wanted to keep us happy. They seemed to comprehend, thanking us for talking. I gave them my number and said we may stay in touch before we split. Several calls have come in the week since that encounter. Though brief and unpleasant, it's a start. I've also arranged financial aid to help them move to a nicer apartment and cover medical costs. I stated that this assistance was unconditional. I wasn't trying to purchase their love or obligate them. Marie hasn't responded since our McDonald's fight. Part of me hopes she's brave enough to leave Liam for help. Not optimistic. I've accepted that she may never return to my life. This whole event has been an emotional roller coaster. I'm still absorbing things and trying to decide how I want to interact with my parents. Abigail has always supported me and listened when I needed it. My family relationship's future is uncertain, but I know this. I'm proud of my life, my strength, and my family with Abigail. Whatever happens, my past pains won't determine my future happiness. Thank you, Reddit, for your guidance and support along this trip. It means more to me than you realize.